Welcome to Namtekazana, episode number 5. So today I'm gonna be talking about how difficult it is to date after you've been with a toxic partner or after you've been in a toxic relationship. So before I continue, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. So I dated someone that was toxic, like toxic to the core, ne? And remember my episode number 4, I spoke about self-love. So because a lot of things do not go right when the self-love is not there. So I found myself dating this guy. So at the beginning of everything, we were just friends because he was anti-relationships. And then I was like, hey, Andizi, like, Njolo is just too much and it requires so much. So Andizi and I'm okay, fine. So we enjoyed each other's company and we would spend most of the time together. Like, we would go to his friends, we would go to my friends. And then eventually we decided, you know what, let's date. Okay, we dated and he was the sweetest guy, like sweetest guy ever. Anything I wanted, I got. He treated me like a queen, I'm not gonna lie. And the relationship was really nice at the beginning. Like, I enjoyed myself. And things were just so nice. It got to a point where he even introduced me to his mother, and his mother liked me. And it was nice. It was just that relationship. I think the biggest thing for me, or rather what confused me, was that he was a very loyal person. So him being loyal, because most of the time I was under the impression that when someone is toxic, then it has to be someone that beats you or someone that cheats on you, like a serial cheater, then and you keep going back, then that defines a toxic relationship. Kanti, I did not know. I was still gonna be taught a lesson. So we dated. And I'm not gonna lie, like, before I could confidently say this guy is toxic, I could see the red flags. But all in the name of love, all in the name of he's human, I'm also human. So let me not. Plus, also another thing, he was a master of apologizing. Like, even if you wake up and you decide, no, I'm done with this relationship, shame, by the end of that day, you'll be back in that relationship. That's how good he was. Okay, fine. So remember when the relationship started, we were friends, right? And then if when you are friends with someone, you obviously open up, you tell them secrets, you also tell them the things that you've been through, right? Because this is your friend. I mean, who else can you confide in? Okay, so I would tell this guy about how my previous relationship was, why I was tired of umjolo, and I felt ukuthi it's just not for me, He had this thing of forcing me to talk. So I'm not okay, I am now, but I wasn't big on communication, and this is because of how I was raised. I was just raised in a household where umntwana, and if you're gonna cry for into ongaziwa, you will get a beating. Sinaxesha lobana sizobuza ubana ukhalelani, kwenzakaleni. No, stop crying or else ngizokupha i-reason yokuthi ukhale manje. So I think that affected me a lot growing up, because every time I was upset or every time I was hurt, I couldn't be vocal about how I felt because uh, bebazo. And then he was different, because when he was mad, he wanted to talk. And now, like, you had to address whatever it is that you guys were going through. And I was not about that life. And it was just one big mess, because he would force me to talk to him, and I would just be indifferent even in the conversation that we would have. he would do the most talking and I would just be there uninterested, and I just wanted everything to end. So that's how I realized something is wrong with this guy. I realized, when there's always that thing that tells you when something is just not on, and there's always that thing that tells you when you're like, this guy, I don't see myself spending my whole life with someone like this. No. But because you are in this toxic relationship and you can't even openly tell your friends, Uguti, guys, nya shalankona, So you end up sticking it out because what's the point of me confide? Plus, my friends know me to be this person that uh, if you start acting like you don't want a relationship with me, then I give you an option. I make things easy. Me, I'm very good at ending things and letting guys be. So my friends would always be like, ha, wena sowuqalile ngalezi zinto zakho, uyakuthanda lo muntu lona, he's not like all the other guys, give him a chance, nan. And then because I'm not gonna lie, I loved him. Like, I loved him, the guy. So I would be like, maybe I'm just being too hard on myself and on the guy. Let me just give it a try and see what happens. Gandhi, I was killing myself. Okay, fine. Time went on. We dated. I remember this other time. Oh, okay. About the ring. Sorry, guys. About the ring. I took the ring, but I told him that we cannot be engaged. I would rather uh, use the ring as a promise ring. And then he agreed with me, and then everything was all right. I had the ring with me, and. Okay, and then after that, and mind you, this guy was so loyal to a point, Yoguti, he would give me his phone for like a week. I remember there was a time where my phone was not working. We were using his phone. We were using his phone. So I would talk to my friends using his WhatsApp. Like, he would be at work and I would be at work with his phone. Like, there'd be no text from any random girl or even a trace of like pictures or something he forgot or his Facebook. No. Everything that was there, if there was to be a conversation between him and a girl, it would be a conversation that happened way before I was in the picture. So this was a very loyal guy. And I remember this other time he said to me, also, guys, when a guy says to you, like, those things where they say to you, I don't deserve you, please believe that guy and run for your life. So he said to me, please don't ever make me angry. I was like, oh. Before we became a couple, we were friends. So he would do things that I had already told him about, that that guy did and I didn't like. So I felt like I was dating the same person in a different body. Okay, days would go by. I remember this other time I was up to here. I told him it's over. I don't want to do this anymore. It's clearly not working. And then he was like, oh, it's over. I was like, yeah, it's over. And he was like, okay, fine. But can you at least give me a chance? I was like, there's no chance that you are getting. Haibo, guy drove to his place. When we got there, he was like, you can go in and go tell my mom that it's over, because I'm not about to be answering questions from my family about you when they ask me where you are and what happened to us. But I can't. Remember, we are in a relationship, and if I tell you that we are over, then you are the one that has the responsibility to tell everyone else that knows that we are a couple that it's over. Okay, fine. He started. I think that day that guy wanted to hit me, but I don't know what happened. So in the middle of all of that, the back and forth that was happening between him and I in the car, I think his mom had something. She came out, and then she, obviously, you know how old people are. What's happening, guys? Please don't fight. Okay, after that, obviously, we fixed things. My gosh, I was such a clown. But together, we fixed things and we were okay. I think, yeah, we were fine. But I think deep down in me, I already knew that this is not the relationship that I want. But I was not leaving, guys. I was still holding on for dear life. Please ask me why. Ask me. But I don't know the answer if you ask me. So we dated and dated, and it got to a point where he would even take my phone and pretend to be me. Imagine, guys. Like he would talk to my friends. Uh, like if my friends say hi, ne, he would wait. Like he would be online using my number, be online, wait for any suspicious text, then he would entertain the text. So for example, if you would text me and say, "Hey friend, I miss you, how are you?" He would not answer it. He would just read the message and leave it like that. But if you were to text me and say, "Hey babe, it's been so long, I miss you, when can I see you?" Then he would reply, "Hi," just so that he could find something. Like he always thought that I was cheating. Okay, I when I found out, I was mad. I was like, this is not the life that I want to live with you. I'm done. Like you can do whatever you want to do. I am so done with you. I don't want anything to do with you. As if that was not enough, this guy. And then this other time, I remember I went out with my colleagues. This story is funny. It's not funny, and like it's not funny, but and like it's fun. So we went out with my colleagues. We went to Kwale Chaba. And it was nice. It was chilled. Prior to that, I told him, because I remember he was working on that day and I wasn't working. Prior to that, I told him that so we are going out with my friends. We are going out with my friends and my colleagues. The first thing he wanted to know is it guys or girls? I was like, it's guys and girls. He was like, fine. And then we went out. So as obviously you keep checking up on your partner to find out, are you still fine? So the last time we spoke on that day, I told him that my battery is about to die, so he shouldn't worry about coming to pick me up. Um, no, I said he shouldn't worry about how I'm gonna get home, because these people that I'm chilling with have cars, so I'll be able to get home safely. And then within 5 minutes after I said that, my battery died. Mind you, I didn't tell this guy where I was. I just told him that we're going out because also we were not sure. We just decided to go to, let's go to Kwale Chab. Okay, so my battery dies, and obviously, when you are out chilling and you're busy on your phone, it's annoying. So my battery dies, I put my phone away, and I have a good time. Did he not show up? When he showed up, he was the nicest guy ever to the people that I was chilling with. But on the side, when we were talking, hey, guys, no, that guy was a lot. I don't want to lie to you guys. He was a lot. And the sad thing about all of this is that I couldn't even tell my friends how he was treating me, because to everyone he was this nice guy, he was this reliable guy, he was this loving guy. I'm even getting emotional thinking about it. But to me, he was the worst. Like, that guy messed me up. Like, there's so much. Like, there's other things that I'm not even comfortable talking about, even till this day, that he did to me, all in the name of him loving me. And the saddest thing is that every time I tried breaking up with him, he would play the "I'm sorry" card, but I have issues. It even got to a point where he was willing to go and get help, because I told him, Oguti, you are not okay. You might think that how you are is okay, but personally, I feel like you are not okay, and I think you need help because you cannot continue like this. I understand that you love me, but it's not in a healthy way. And he was like, yeah, because he wanted me to forgive him, guys. Yeah, I understand, and it's not the first time someone tells me that, and I want to go get help. Please ask me what happened. I think he attended 2 sessions. On the third one, when I was asking him, so when are you going again? He was like, I think you should join me on the next session, because also I feel like you are toxic in your own way and you bring out the worst in me. You make me angry. You make me do all these things. This other time, um, I don't know what was happening. I think I was supposed to go somewhere and he was working that day. We fought. Did guy not break his knee on purpose just so he could miss work? I even stopped going to auditions, guys, because he would want to take me everywhere. He didn't want me to use taxis. He did not want me to like have guy friends. He wanted to know all my friends, and he was in contact with some of my friends. Don't know how, I don't know why, but he was. That's how bad it was. And eventually I was able to get over that emotional blackmail that he, yeah, like I got over the relationship, and I was tired of just not being okay. Because another thing with toxic relationships is that I realized things were bad when I started hiding from my friends that him and I fixed things, because we would always break up and make up. So when we break up and I tell my friends, Bangani, he did this and this and this, and they'd be like, "Ha, but Sandega, why were you quiet all along? That guy is not okay." They start understanding. Mugai will come back to me. And guess what? We'll get back together. Aibo. This is why I say I was a clown shim. And the 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 saddest thing about this relationship is that when it ended, for it to like formally end, I had to include my uncles. Like it was such a mess, because I remember also prior to me calling my uncle to tell him that this guy is troubling me, he came with his mother to my place. And mothers sometimes, ne? As much as we always say imbogodo, mothers are our pillars, some mothers are just anti that. I remember that I remember I remember his mother saying to me, uh, in everything that you guys go through, you must always remember that this is my son. So even if he does certain things to you, there are things that I'm not gonna react to, because at the end of the day, he is my son. And if you guys feel like you are tired of each other, just break things off. And I think it's only fair that when you break things off with him, you give him back everything that he bought for you. Hi, dear mother, how can you say that? And then I think that for me was the last straw. I was like, so things ended with me and the guy, and I remember, I think it took me some time to move on, because I I was just so angry at every guy in jail for no reason. Like, guys annoyed me. And when they say men are trash, I felt like they were making me happy, like they were talking about my story. Men are trash, yes, yes. So I tried dating, I tried moving on. So after that, I'm not gonna lie, the dating after being in a toxic relationship is very hard. Till this day, I find myself questioning people's intentions. I don't trust easily, and I always feel like I to a certain extent, I don't allow people to do things that I'm not going to be able to repay. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I make sense. But what happens is I don't let you I don't let you, like, I don't let people do things for me that I wouldn't do for myself. And I'm always leaving room for disappointment, which is not good, because uh, I one mistake, like when someone does something that triggers me, I I become so hard on myself and that person because I'm trying to not repeat the mistakes that I did with that guy. And it's just so hard because I feel like the person that I was before being in that relationship is not the person that I am now. And I cannot get that person back. I understand that it was an experience, and when things happen to us in life, obviously we are meant to grow. We can't stay the same. But with this case, it's just different because toxic relationships mess you up emotionally, mentally. They just do the most to you because I always think, what if I I date someone like that again? What if I don't see myself losing control in a relationship to a point where I wake up one day and I realize that shit, I'm in a toxic relationship and I can't really pack my things and go, because that's what happens with a toxic relationship. As much as you can get all the advice in the world, we can tell you to move on, leave that guy, you deserve better, but there's just something in you that keeps entertaining that. And I feel like even after the relationship is done, when you go through phases in life where you feel like, you know what, maybe I should have just dealt with that toxic guy all my life instead of having to try out new things, learn how other people do certain things. So in essence and in conclusion, toxic relationships are not okay, guys. And as soon as you start seeing red flags, try and find a way to leave. Especially looking at how we are just being killed by men, you know? I understand that at times you can't control it because when it comes to gender based violence, it can just happen anywhere and anytime. It doesn't even have to be done by someone that you call a partner, you know? It can happen, but wherever we can try and prevent such things, let us please do those things, guys. And as soon as you realize that this relationship is toxic, please pack your bags and leave, because the longer you stay in a toxic relationship, the longer it messes you up. Like, the longer you understand and you keep forgiving, the longer it's going to take you to heal and be okay after that relationship is done. And the longer you stick around, it's the more you lose your self-worth, sorry. The more you start questioning your existence, the more you start thinking all the guys are like that. You start normalizing things that are toxic. You start, you'd find people that say, I don't want to date a guy that doesn't hit me because I feel like I can't stand you. It's not because they are doing that to be cool or anything. It's because of how they've been programmed to be by the partners that they've dated that were toxic to them. Because when someone is toxic and you keep forgiving or you keep dating that toxic person, you end up being that person. Because I remember at some point, I would even I had tricks on how I would start fights. Like, I knew it's okay, I could do this and then I know we would fight. That way, then I can be able to go out with my friends without having to fight with him about it. It was just, I was also starting to think now like a toxic person. When he says something mean to me, I would think of something that's even worse to say back to him so that it hurts. So it's not a nice thing, and unfortunately it happens. And when we meet people, you can't look at someone or you can't be with someone for like a few days and then you're like, this one is toxic, bye. No, unfortunately it doesn't happen like that. You have to spend time and then you get to realize there are patterns, and then you see something is wrong. But all I'm saying is that as soon as you realize, even if it takes you a day, even if it takes you a month, even if it takes you years, but as soon as you realize, please gather enough strength, because it is also important to be sure that you are done, so that when you leave, you don't come back. Because it's pointless for you to leave after a month when you realize that this guy is toxic or this girl is toxic, but only for you to be back after 2 days because emotionally and mentally you were not ready. Because feelings can mess you up, guys. This thing called feelings, I don't like it. If I could, I would get my feelings surgically removed, so that I can start thinking with my head and not my heart. But because I'm human and we are all human, there's nothing we can do. But all we can try and do is just be careful and be wise when it comes to choosing our partners. Because just like your friends, your partners are people that you spend most of your time with. So imagine spending most of your time with someone that is toxic. It's not nice. So let's do better, and just I just pray that people that are in toxic relationships get enough strength to leave. And I pray that people that have never been in toxic relationships never ever go through them, because it's not nice. And like I said, it scars you for life. Till this day, I have days where I wake up and I'm like, wow, that guy really messed me up. And you never realize the effects until you start moving on. That's when you realize, this is not it. Because now you are either too strict on other guys, or you just have this wall that you keep building between you and the people that you think you want to give a chance. And you constantly have flashbacks of things that were said to you or done to you. Because I remember I said he would want to accompany me everywhere. He didn't want me to use taxis. I remember after we broke up, it was a challenge for me to use public transport. I would get so anxious because I would always feel like maybe he's following me. Maybe there are people that are watching me, because sometimes I would do things um, when he's not around. Not bad things, guys, please. Like maybe I would go out without telling him. Maybe a friend of mine would come fetch me. He would call me and say, how so hambile no ban I was in jail. That time, maybe when we spoke earlier, he told me that he's going to Midrand, or he went to Boxback or whatever. But he would know my every move and my every action. So I get triggered by those things even to this day, because I know that these things really happen, and you can never really just look at someone and say, this one is toxic, this one is not. So you never really know. You could go through the same thing again with a different person. And honestly, I think I would die. I think I would die if I were to be in another toxic relationship. It's either I will die or I'll get arrested, because wow, it's not for me. But yeah, let's do better, guys. And if you know someone that is in a toxic relationship, try and help them out. Ungampheleli inhliziyo, because I think what we do, we normally just give up on our friends or our family members that are in toxic relationships, thinking that uyathanda naye, why do they keep going back, not knowing ukuthi sometimes this person has something that your cousin, your sister, your friend is lacking. So they use it to keep them around. Sometimes they even threaten to kill you, bruh. They be like, oh, they threaten to kill themselves, because that one did that once. Like someone would tell you, if utangifuni, then I would rather die, because who else is gonna love me if we're not. So let's just be supportive to people that we think are in toxic relationships, or just reach out to people that when you look at, you see, this one is toxic, this relationship is not okay. just reach out and be there for them and be patient, because it doesn't just happen overnight. And it's, I don't know, man, when you are in a toxic relationship, it doesn't seem as bad as it actually is. So only, for example, only when I tell stories, Mina, now about what happened between me and that guy, I realize, good, wow, wow, this was so toxic. But when I was going through those things, I just felt like maybe this is just things that people in other relationships go through, and let me not be hard on this guy or on myself, you know. Sorry. And you keep going back and going back. So let's be supportive to those that we think are in toxic relationship, and those that we know are in toxic relationships, and just be careful going forward in terms of dating and just people that we choose to have around, because uh, not only relationships are toxic, guys. Sometimes even friendships are toxic. Sometimes even certain family members are toxic. Sometimes even the working environments that we are in are toxic. So just protect yourself and love yourself enough to not allow yourself to go through such things, because you deserve so much better, and you, no one deserves to be in a toxic relationship. Like, it's something I wouldn't wish even on my worst enemy. Not that I have enemies, guys. But toxic relationships are just one of those things where after you've been through, you don't want any other person to go through, because you know how daunting it is, how tiring, how depressing it is, you know. So let's just be careful and help others that are not as strong as we are, or that are not as wise as we are yet, just so that we can, you know, be better parents to our kids, and just be better friends, better siblings to our sisters, our brothers. Let's just do better, guys. Even if you you've watched this video and you feel like, maybe Nami, I'm toxic, please do better. Go find help, because also what we don't realize is that things that happen to us as we grow up, they 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 play a big role in how we become. Like, the people that we become, Masasi Badala, is 80% influenced by how we grew up. So sometimes someone is toxic and they're not even aware that they're toxic, you know. So let's just do better, and while we do better, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.